girl, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that this came across my feed today. This is Ka더가든 covered by AHOF's Han and JL. So I cannot wait. Our two main vocalists are together and I'm so excited to see this. So let's go ahead and get started. Pretty.
붉어진 뺨과 수줍게도 모은 손 위로 무얼 기대하고 있는지 날 그리도 많이 보며 걷다가 문득 생각났던 얄궂은 농담 말해주려 고개를 돌리다 그때 아마 느꼈을 거라 난 믿었고 믿고 있어 그대 작은 나의 세상이 되어 그려본 적 없는 꿈을 꾸게 해 만약 이게 나의 착각이래도 그대 오늘만은 꿈이 되죠 마음은 쉽게 변할 수도 어쩌면 쉽게 굳어지게 되는 걸 알아 그건 나의 선택일 거라 난 믿었고 믿고 있어 그대 작은 나의 세상이 되어 그려본 적 없는 꿈을 꾸게 만약 이게 나의
pretty.
넌 말했었지 날 믿어보겠다고 그건 아주 큰 사랑이야 그대 작은 나의 세상이
There we go.
그려본 적 없는 꿈을 꾸게 만약 이게 나의 착각이라도 그대 오늘만을 꿈이 되죠 작은 마음 모여 너에게 와서 나는 너와 저만 길을 가볼래 만약 이게 나의 착각이라도 그대 작은 나의 세상 되죠 어쩌면 나는 알았을까 이토록 멀리 이토록 깊게
Very, very, very nice. Excuse me, I'm trying to talk to them. Sorry. I really love hearing this kind of song from Han and JL. The reason that I love this in this capacity is you really get to hear how their voices are so different, but they work so well together. I think I've mentioned this in a couple of my reactions of how I feel like Han and JL like have so many differences in their vocal characteristics that when you put them together, it just naturally makes sense for them to be the two main vocalists. And I think that that's the reason in AHOF, like they just work so well together. You have Han's voice, which is a little bit deeper, a little bit more rich and rounded, and JL's voice is a little higher, a little more breathy, a little airier. And so it just a little brighter. So when you put their tones together, it just sounds so beautiful. And I really love that from the very beginning. Han was doing more of the melody line at that very beginning, and he was adding a little bit of the flips and tricks throughout, and then JL eventually did that like in verse 2. So it was nice to see their differences of how they kind of phrased different verses and how they did both their own thing. I noticed it in the first verse. I was like, oh, JL's voice is a little more bright here. It's a little higher, and that was just naturally because of the song, but also like he was singing more in his head voice, whereas Han was doing a little more flipping back and forth between his chest voice and his head voice, and that was just because of the natural melodic part of the song. But it's also just because, again, their vocal qualities are different, and that's what makes them work so well together. I really love how JL flips into it, his head voice for the chorus. It was so nice. In verse 2, that was where I felt like Han really went into his head voice a little bit more. It had a little more dynamic to it, a little more drama, and JL kind of started to do a little more vocal tricks during that second verse, whereas Han did that for the first verse. So it was a good way to see both of them kind of shine individually, but also together. And I have to say, I love how in the bridge, we had Han on that top harmony and JL on the lower harmony, and then they switched. And so it was really nice to hear them both do that kind of harmonic progression, but it was completely different. And I also just feel like the way that their voices lined up naturally for this particular song was so good. And then with the ending, I love how, you know, kind of go back to the very beginning, how it was very nice and quiet and had that dynamic to it. They are just incredible singers. I really love seeing them together, and I hope that they release more videos like this where we get to see their vocal abilities, and I'd love to see it from the rest of the members, because I just feel like AHOP like just is that kind of group. They're that vocal group, right? I always love hearing them because I know they're gonna hit like their vocals hard. They're gonna hit their performance as well. But it's just one of those things where, especially JL and Han, their vocals are just so well balanced. And I think that's one of the reasons like everyone really loves them. Once you get into like AHOP and you know who they are, you're like stuck. I think that's the case. So tell me what you guys thought of this cover. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part in this cover or MV? I really love, like I said, how they switched in the bridge very effortlessly. Han was, like I said, first he was doing the high part, and JL was doing the melody, and then they switched, and it was just so effortlessly perfect. So I absolutely love that. Tell me your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.